You are listening to the Pencil and Paper Podcast Network. Visit pencilandpaperproductions.podbean.com to find more great podcasts.
Welcome to the Palace of Megapixels. This is Super Mega Crash Brothers Turbo!
Hello, everyone, and welcome to Super Mega Crash Brothers Turbo. I'm your host, Stephen White. With me, as always, my co-host, Lacey Finley.
And happy Monday. I did it so much better than Todd.
You do. That was a terrible impression of you. But hey, we make do. Todd.
You did make do.
Yeah.
It was great.
Joining us this week in the Palace of Megapixels is an author, blogger, and fellow podcaster who's co-authored the book series Epic Fails of History when he's not contributing articles to sites like ComicZombie.net and Geek to Geek Media. You can probably find him co-hosting his Star Trek rewatch show, Too Young for This Trek, and editing his very entertaining Podcasters Assemble, a show that this audience should know because we talk about it, or we have talked about it for the last few months. Mm-hmm. And while my contributions to the show started the constant barrage of plugs on here, my genuine love for the concept will continue to fuel those actions. But the man responsible is hardworking and incredibly talented, Erik Slader.
Hey guys, happy to be here.
Yay, welcome.
Thank you so much. That was an amazing introduction.
Well, I do my best. I don't want to just be like, and here's this guy who's just on the show with us today.
You'll hear him in the background every once in a while.
He's just there.
Yeah, I'm just here. But yeah, no, thank you so much for having me on. I've actually been going through the backlog of your episodes, and I'm really enjoying it. It's good stuff.
Thank you.
Well, thank you.
And I do appreciate all the shout outs to Podcasters Assemble. And of course, being on the show, which has been great. You guys are both awesome.
It's so much fun. It's just such a fun concept. I'm telling you.
Yeah, I'm really digging it. It's a lot of work, like editing wise, but it's worth it. Get a lot of passionate people on there, so that's been fun.
Oh yeah.
Tell me if I've got this right. We became acquainted through Facebook, probably the Great Mates group. Would that be correct, or would there be a different group?
Which one was it? Which group?
The Great Mates group.
I don't know if I'm on there.
No. I was trying to figure out where exactly this happened because I remember seeing your post for the upcoming season of Podcasters Assemble. I think was for Godzilla or Kong Godzilla-thon.
Yeah.
I thought, ooh, I'm here, but I couldn't remember what group it was that we shared that I found that.
Oh man, it might have been. Tyler was helping me kind of promote that, so maybe he posted it there.
He may have.
Yeah, so originally Tyler and Troy were the ones that kind of started that podcast, and then they both had newborns like at the same time, and so I kind of helped them out, jumped in, and like kept the podcast going because they just didn't have time to keep it going. So
that's awesome though.
Yeah.
I would hate for that concept to have just fallen off by the wayside because it's a good concept.
It really is, yeah.
Oh, I totally agree. Yeah, I've definitely enjoyed working on the show for sure. Mm-hmm. It feels, I don't even know how to describe it. It's kind of like a documentary style podcast, I guess. Mm-hmm. Have you ever seen, there's this Netflix show, it's The Toys That Made Us. They also had a spin-off, The Movies That Made Us. And I kind of was going for like that editing style where like someone will say something and then I'll cut in someone like completely contradicting them. Yeah. And I really like to kind of play that up, like some of the different opinions,
Oh yeah, I've enjoyed some of your editing choices here and there where you'll throw in, where you'll repeat something, or like you said, you'll juxtapose it with a differing opinion. It's beautiful. I love it. It's great stuff.
It's really great.
Yeah.
So we'll probably go in a little bit deeper with you a little bit later, but right now I want to do a few things I want to talk about real quick, just to touch on. I've probably mentioned on the show, I don't know how deep I've talked about the last drive-in, right?
Yes. I don't. Well, we talk a lot. It could have
we
been on
do.
the show. It could have been anywhere.
Okay. I don't know if I've talked about The Last Drive-In here. I feel like I have. But
sounds
The
familiar.
Last Drive-In is a show on Shudder, which is a
yeah.
horror streaming site if you're into that sort of thing.
They have the new Creep Show, right?
Yes.
Oh, I got to check that out
There
at
you
some
go.
point.
The Last Drive-In is like one of my new favorite things because it's like a old school horror watch along where you have your host Joe Bob Briggs who talks and introduces your movie, and then you watch it with him, kind of like Elvira or Svengoolie or Zachary, you know, these old horror hosts of the way back when. And they've been doing a lot of these, and actually this is like the first year I've actually been able to watch it live. So
nice.
I get to participate with the
yeah?
conversation because you'll have all these people talking about it on Twitter. And depending on what the movies are, maybe I'm in, maybe I'm out. Like this past Friday, I checked out because I wasn't in for Nicolas Cage.
Oh.
You know, he's just
He's really hit or
It
miss.
can't be. Right. I was just going to say the same
Sorry.
thing. It can go either way.
because it was just like, am I in the mood for Nicolas Cage right now? Am I
Right.
in the mood for his insanity? Nah, I'm just not. Because they were showing Mandy, and I've never seen it. I don't know if you guys have.
No.
But it's supposed to be like this crazy balls to the wall death metal type. I don't know what it is. It just sounded insane.
That actually
And
piques
then-
my interest.
It did. I mean, just listening to the way they talked about it, I was like, I would be so in for this. But Nick Cage is just going to take it to an extreme, and I just don't know if I'm ready for that extreme.
Well, it depends on which Nick Cage you get.
No, this
Because
is
it can be glorious.
That's
and,
true.
and maybe
And it could be
is.
painful.
Yeah, I
Also
don't
true.
know
Go
which
either way.
one. I've seen pictures of his face, and I'm like, that looks like the insane one. So,
Nicolas Cage,
I
are
wasn't
you
in the
okay?
mood for it. Yeah,
Right?
I wasn't ready for it. But I did want to talk about last week because last week I had a lot of fun, and Lace, I don't know if you follow me directly or if you had to turn off notifications because Todd was just like,
I will never turn it off for
I
you,
know.
baby.
But it was just like, I'm sure I was blowing up because Todd was just like, man, you were going nuts Friday night. And I was like, I know, but it was so cool. They do double features, which is a cool drive-in-esque thing to do. They showed a movie called Ginger Snaps, which I'd always wanted to see, but I never watched or had seen up to that point.
Is that the
It's
one about the witches? I wanna say?
werewolves?
Werewolves. Okay.
Yeah.
I think I'm thinking of a different one.
Two emo sisters who, oh God, I want to die. But then one of them
Yeah.
gets bit by a werewolf, and then things change. I'm not doing it justice, but
I love Emu Sisters.
yeah,
by the way.
emo sisters. But it was
That's
fun.
terrifying.
I mean, it was actually as good as I'd heard. It wasn't just like the most revelation or biggest revelation I'd ever had. Like, oh my God, I can't believe I missed this.
Yeah.
But the second movie, is where it's at.
Okay.
Okay.
Oh, yeah?
Have you heard of a movie called Fried Berry?
No.
No.
Okay.
Can't say
This
I have.
This recently came out, and I'm
Oh,
gonna
it's like
really
like
recent.
2021?
yeah, like they released it on Shudder last week as an exclusive.
Oh, okay.
And then
okay.
they chose to show it on the drive-in as a watch along. Oh man, this movie. Let me just break it down in a nutshell. This is the purest form that I can put it in as far as a plot. Barry is a heroin addict living in Cape Town, South Africa, and he gets abducted by an alien.
That's a plot twist.
And then the alien who is possessing his body makes his way through this town and his misadventures until...
And nobody believes him because he's a heroin addict, right?
That's the weird thing. People are like, this is the most heroin-looking guy I've ever seen in my life. Like, he was built to portray a heroin addict.
Oh my god.
And yet women are fawning all over him. It's just the most bizarre thing. And then he says nothing throughout most of the film. I'll say that, at least after the abduction. And then the action, the chaos, the insanity. This is a movie you'll either love or you hate. You're either in or you're not. I can't say it any more than that.
Well, is there plenty of riffing for me?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Oh, then I might have a good time.
You may. And the soundtrack is amazing. Like when I listened to it, as I was hearing it as it was going on, that was one of the draws. Is like the music's kind of keeping you into it, and you're like, oh yeah. And I had a thought in the back of my head. I was like, you know what? This has kind of got like some Hotline Miami vibes, you know? Because it's got
nice.
that.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Okay,
And then
I can go down with that.
I was gonna say something about it on Twitter, and I was like, nah, no one's gonna know what that means. and then
Well, I guess like 2 people.
Yeah, I understood that reference.
I swear to you, later on in that evening, there was somebody who was talking about it. It was like, dude, this director needs to direct like a Hotline Miami movie with this soundtrack and all this other. And I was like, dude, yes. And,
See, you should have.
and the director liked it. He'd been following along. He was all into it.
Shit, that's awesome.
Dude's been stalking me. I swear to God.
What?
I'm like it started to weird me out a little bit. Like not that I would shit on the guy because I mean the guy's talented, you know.
Yeah.
But it was just like there would be these like all my tweets that I've been talking about Fried Berry because I was just into it, and then suddenly dude's liking it. Somebody asked. This is completely removed from the last drive-in. Days later. Someone asked for a recommendation for a horror movie. I said, Fried Berry, love it or hate it. Dude liked it.
Nice.
He doesn't even follow me. But
well, maybe he's looking up the hashtag.
Yeah.
He
or
must
whatever.
be.
Can't you do that on the Twitters?
I think that's how that works.
tweets with words that sound like.
Yeah.
But still, it was cool
SEO is
and
hard.
strange at the same time. I'm like, oh, cool. He's stalking me, I guess. Maybe. I don't know. But
I always
pretty
would get
awesome.
nervous then. I'd be like, what did I say?
Have you checked his IMDb page? I'd be curious.
this is like the first big thing he's done.
Oh,
Like,
nice.
so, I mean,
Oh,
this
he's
is
probably-
like...
Well, then he's excited.
Yeah.
Let him be.
Yeah.
Oh, no.
exciting.
I
that's
mean,
cool.
credit where credit's due. This is like...
Hopefully we'll see more from him.
Sure.
Right.
Yeah, no. This guy needs to do something really, really amazing. Like, I'm hoping someone gives him a chance to do something. Not to say that this isn't high-level stuff. I mean, it's impressive what he did with what he had
Oh, yeah.
because it's just got this atmosphere, the aesthetic, again, the music. It's just... But
Great.
I'm all for it. I would recommend it to you.
Fried berry.
Fried Berry. Just
Sounds
watch
original.
the trailer, and
Okay.
you'll kind of like you'll know whether or not it's because I remember seeing it weeks ago, and I didn't know it was going to come to Shudder, or maybe they said it in there, and I just didn't pay attention. But it was like I was watching it, going, "Yeah, okay, I mean, I might be into this."
Yeah.
And I felt like it would be one of those movies that you'll know if you're going to be in for it or not for the long haul.
Sure.
Because at some point you're going to be like, I'm in, or nah, I'm good, I'm out. So check it out if you
I don't
can.
know.
I recommend it. Just
After you talking about it, I feel like I could lead in and have a good time.
Yeah,
yeah.
same.
but the director's name is Ryan Kruger. Keep an eye
Ryan
on him.
Kruger.
Yeah, he's
All
gonna
right.
he's gonna be something. I think.
That name sounds really familiar. Ryan Coogler?
No, Kruger.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, kind of like Freddy, but missing an E, I think.
Okay.
McGruber? No.
McGruber? No. Kruger. So I do want to ask, like we ask every week, what have we been playing? Eric, what have you been playing this week?
Let's see. So for the past year, pretty much through all of 2020, I was playing a lot of Breath of the Wild and Ghost of Tsushima.
Nice.
Still enjoying the hell out of both of those. I don't know what it is. I think I just like exploring the map. Like I
Sure, yeah.
finally unlocked the whole map in Breath of the Wild. Like it took me
Oh,
forever,
nice.
but that was, that was half the fun for me. But yeah, recently we got Mario Maker 2, and for the kids, air quotes. But I
Sure.
think I've logged more hours on that game than they have.
Hey, you could send kids to bed on trumped up charges whenever you want.
And I guess the other one I've been playing a lot of, Mortal Kombat 11, because of course that's consuming my life these days.
Sure.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm, I love video games. I just don't have the time for them like I used to, unfortunately.
Oh,
That's
yeah.
fair.
But I do make the time every now and then.
I was gonna say, you're a busy bee.
I
Yeah,
try.
It's understandable.
Definitely juggling a few projects here and there.
It's commitment to the craft. That's what I say.
All right.
Yep.
Lace, what about you? What have you been playing?
I finally did good this week.
Oh.
Okay.
So I started playing Stranger Things 3. Like, I was just kind of going through my... I'm one of those that, like, claims all the free games off of Epic. Yeah, I know. And just seeing what I had in there. And I'm like, oh, yeah, that is such a cute little game. It's cute. If you've seen Stranger Things 3rd season, you know the plot.
Oh, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, like, there's no spoiler or anything in there. Like, that's what they did.
Cool.
But, you know... little pixel art graphics and little side quests that you can do, and you eventually get to play all of the characters, and they did it in like an RPG style, so you can kind of swap who in and out for kind of like how you would with Maniac Mansion. I want someone who could like repair this, so this is the person I'm bringing with me on this quest or whatever. Really cute. I recommend it. I don't want to say too much more than that because there's really not a lot to talk about. If you've seen the season 3, then you know what's going on. You know? It's called The Companion Game.
Sure.
But I can recommend it. You know how I gravitate towards pixel art games and everything like that. So it's really cute.
So is it like an 8-bit style game?
Mm-hmm.
Nice.
Yeah, it's like the top-down... You just kind of move around. I haven't gotten so far where like the mystery is completely... revealing itself yet. I'm still like arguing in the basement about D&D, you know, like we're still going back and forth with that. Cool. I think I just picked up, oh my gosh, see, I'm terrible with remembering anyone's names throughout the history of time. I will remember your face, but never their name. So the sister,
okay,
I finally got her. And the one guy's older brother that worked with her at the newspaper.
Oh, okay.
So I've got like all the kids now, and then those two that are considered adults.
Yeah.
According to the game, they're adults. So we're working with that. And then Steve.
So
I was Team Steve. Yes, because I was Team Steve.
Sure.
I'm still Team Steve. I'm sorry the other guy's lovely, but I'm still Team Steve. The hair is just too glorious. You can't.
Yeah.
It is.
I'm looking forward to season 4. That show's great.
Yeah. I'm one of those that actually did not like it until about season 3.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I thought it was really slow, and I kept with it because the Hubs was really into it, and then season 3 really got my interest, and I was like, all right, I'm actually glad I plugged through the first 2 seasons because it got really good. But yeah,
it's definitely a slow burn. Season 2 wasn't the best in my opinion, but season 3 definitely, like, they nailed it for sure.
Yeah,
and all the stuff at the mall,
like
it played on my nostalgia for sure.
Right. And that's where the game is. So it's fun. You're like, yeah, you're rolling through the mall and people's houses. And it's funny, though, because like how you collect items, you just break things open. So you really just feel like a POS child where I'm running through breaking everyone's pots and plants with a bat and
just like
bags at the mall. Right. Like I'm just breaking everybody's everything. Yeah. You know, the hydrant on the side of the road,
because
break it open. I might get a coin or something, you know, every time you find a nickel in the 80s, you know, that in my pocket.
True.
I think I got like $30 now, guys. I'm breaking a lot of pots.
Yeah.
And then I did, of course, I got Famicom Detective Club.
Oh, how is that?
And that's what I've been, I love it.
Nice.
I've been playing it basically nonstop since I got it on Friday, and then a good amount yesterday. Haven't yet today. I don't know how far along I am. I'm still in the Girl Who Stands Behind. So there was the 2 that you could buy together, and I just went ahead and did that. So I'm assuming the first of it. Only thing that's irritating is you could definitely tell old game, because if you can't figure out what to do, just keep pushing all the buttons you already did over and over again until something new pops up. And I swear to God, you'll hit the same option 3 times before you'll get a new dialogue. And I'm like, okay, this I could do without?
Yeah.
Just click. Oh, same thing again, click. Oh, same thing again, click. Oh, well, now that you mention it, I'm like, oh my God. You'll go through everything like 3 times and I'm like, I don't know how to move on. And then you'll go back to it and you're like, really? You just wanted me to bully you with this question? All right, fine. It's fine. Whatever. But I recommend both.
Okay,
cool.
I recommend both. I think they're fun. I was going to play Mass Effect, but...
Oh, you haven't tried it yet?
Well, okay, no, because I read the reviews about the PC, and I'm like, I'm going to give it a minute, because I'm kind of tired of buying broken AAA games.
Fair
get
enough.
It's a remaster.
Yeah.
This would have been my first run.
You've never played Mass Effect at all?
Mm-mm.
Oh, wow.
No.
What about you, Steven?
I know.
I have not.
Are you
late
serious?
to the party. Not dead.
I know.
Oh, man. Okay, so...
I have 0 excuses.
I wasn't I wasn't big into Mass Effect 3, but the first 2 games, those were amazing for me.
That's what I've heard.
Yeah, like just the exploration aspect in the first game was awesome, but just the amount of choices and the fact that those choices matter, and then the fact that they carried over from game 1 to game 2, that just blew my mind.
I have no excuses. I think I was never really gravitated towards sci-fi just in general.
Oh, okay.
Without even really doing it enough justice to look into realizing there was so much more to the game than that, and it would have completely up my alley.
Yeah.
So I was going to play it one day, and then Twitter's like, the Legendary Edition's coming out in a few months. Why don't you wait?
Yeah.
And play all of them that way. And I said, okay, cool. So I waited. And then when I should know better, I guess, to read all the Steam reviews. But as soon as I got off work, I'm like, how is this a mixed review system already? It's an old AF game. And it's been out for like 4 hours,
Yeah.
And it was mostly the controls for PC.
Oh, is
So
that
I
what it
like,
was?
well, yeah.
I was worried. So it was
Yeah.
it's EA, right? EA's behind it again.
Mm-hmm.
I was a little concerned they were like nickel and diming it, like you have to.
Oh, I'm
pay,
sure there will
like-
at some point.
Oh, okay, yeah. Like you have to pay for this
But-
character or whatever, even though they're in the original game, that kind of thing.
Right. Oh, you wanted to change clothes? 50 cents.
Exactly.
Right.
Ugh.
But no. And then I read a breakdown, I guess, that a lot of it, which I should have known to look into it a little bit deeper than just, angry PC gamers that are sitting in front of the Steam review system. But I think a lot of it just wasn't taking into account that the first one is older and they can only do so much. So like when I was reading some of that, I'm like, that wouldn't bother me.
Yeah, that was like 2 generations ago, wasn't it?
Right.
Like game-wise?
At least 10 years, I want to say the first one, right? Might even be longer.
I think I had it on 360. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep, I want to say that was its first, so whatever that was. So, yeah.
Forever
So I'll
ago.
wait at least a patch, I think, just in case.
Yeah.
And then I think I'm going to buy it because I do still want to play it.
I think it's worth it. Well, I haven't played this version, but
The experience
I
is
wanna
worth
play
it.
yeah.
Right. Like, it's right up my alley. I love those types of games, those fully fleshed, like, RPG systems like that, where choices actually do matter. So I'll get around to it. I might have jumped the gun a little too angrily on Twitter.
My favorite thing about that game was the dialogue. I just loved, just the conversations in the game. It's weird that that's, my favorite part, but it was just so well done.
See, that's why I want to play.
Yeah.
See?
It's just like Famicom Detective, but with better graphics.
Right. They actually did make it look pretty nice. And
Yeah.
you could change it in that game too if you want like the older 8-bit style
okay.
music. Or like in a, I usually end up turning it down anyway because any repeat noise,
Oh, yeah.
I will go nuts.
Yeah.
So eventually I have to turn off music if they give me the option because I can't do that same sound over and over again for hours.
Understandable.
But, Steven, what have you been playing?
Well, I do want to bring this up, even though I kind of brought it up last week, but just for your sake, since we didn't really talk about it.
Yeah.
I got to play Returnal for just a little bit
Oh, yeah.
because we talked about it last week. I'm more into the concept, or at least wanting to play it. I'm not so sure that it'll be something that will keep my attention.
Mm-hmm.
Mainly because that if I get frustrated with it, I'm going to set it down. But that said, I felt like that the controls worked for me. I didn't feel like there was a learning curve. So Todd handed me the controller. He said, hey, go for it. And it was like instinctual. I was like, okay, I got this. Bam! And just shot through everything. But
awesome.
then when it came to the boss, that's where it was just like, oh, you thought you were good? No. And I'm going to beat your ass right now. So I had to... That's where I feel like I'm going to get frustrated, because if I can make my way through this room to a boss every single time but continue to lose to the boss...
Oh, it's just
gonna
the
get angry.
boss that gives you trouble.
Right.
Yeah.
Now,
that's
not
kinda
to say that
frustrating.
the rest of the enemies can't, because I saw Todd get cornered in a room where it was just like constant enemies. It's like it was just... He was trapped.
Yeah.
And it was just like, oh, challenge time, and enemy. And they were just like coming after him. And I was like, oh, okay.
Start crying.
And I could see where you can get overwhelmed because you're trying to focus straight ahead, but then there's stuff behind you, and you got to be aware of your surroundings. So I feel like I can handle that. Not saying that I could have done better than him, but I feel like I can handle it to a point to where, like, okay, that was a challenge. I got it. But to continually come up across a boss that I'm just going to die every time because it's kind of Bloodborne-esque in the sense of how much damage you take or whatever it may be. Like, the controls are nothing like that. Keep that in mind.
Okay.
I mean, the controls are tight. Like, you feel like you're a boss. Like, I saw Todd sitting there shooting around like this, but me, I'm a melee kind of person. So I'll use guns when absolutely necessary. But if I got something I can swipe and stab and smash, that's what I'm going to do. So I had that weapon.
Oh, totally.
And my enemies, I was coming up to them because I'm fast. I can just keep that flow going. You know what I mean? Ha!
Quick like a cat.
So I felt like I did much better kind of flowing between the two, you know? Hit, and then shoot from a distance and then just kind of keep that flow going. But the boss was just constantly barrage of stuff. So I felt like I had to stay back here, even though I'd rather be up there stabbing. I don't know. But again, that was just one run. I didn't play any more than that. One run to a death, and then I was done. I just got a taste of it. So given some time to get more of a handle on the controls, I might do better. Who knows? But I felt like I did all right. For the
I'm
first
sure
one.
he'll let you borrow it once he's done.
Oh, yeah. He's already trying to push it off on me now. And I'm like, dude, I haven't even finished Valhalla yet.
Oh, yeah.
So
that came
that's
out, didn't it?
Too.
Yeah. So I'm playing that. I didn't play it as much as I wanted to this week, you know, because adult stuff.
Oh, totally.
But
Hashtag adulting.
Yeah. But I have been playing around with the weapons because there is a wide swath of weapons you can have. You can have an axe. You can have 2 axes. You can have a big axe. You can have a spear.
You just go full berserker.
Yeah. What else there was
there
a sword?
Shield? There should be a shield.
There is a shield. Yeah, so you can do like axe and shield, or whatever one-handed weapon and a shield. I've been playing around with it, trying to find like what fits me best. Like at first I was doing axe and shield, and then I found a bigger axe, and I was like, all right, let's try this. And I've been trying that out, but you feel a little less defensive. But if you play your cards right, I mean, obviously you can work your magic.
Yeah.
I tried a spear, and it's got some range to it, but I felt like it was like I couldn't break through defenses as good.
Yeah.
You know,
even with your haptic feedback.
Well, I mean, like when they're sitting there doing like this little number and breaking and trying to block my shots, I didn't feel like I could get through it with the spear.
Gotcha.
So I just, as much as I could, the axe when I had that, I got a sword. It's 2-handed, and I've been doing all right with that. But I kind of leaned back into the 2-handed axe because I feel like I'm a beast, and I can just swing and then break stuff, and they're not stopping me. It's like 2 hits and you're done. So
nice.
I'm excited about that one. I haven't played Assassin's Creed since like Black Flag. I know I'm
Me too. That's funny. It's the same one.
Yeah.
That's the last one I touched. Yeah.
But I think I might have to give this one a try. Oh, yeah, pirates. Exactly. That's all you need. But Vikings are kind of like medieval pirates. I mean, they're they're piratey.
I can give you that.
No, this one's got...
They still sailed and made everyone's lives miserable.
Exactly.
Yeah, this one's got some interesting... play styles that, I mean, the fact that you have your own village you're kind of building, that's not something we've seen in Assassin's Creed, at least. I don't remember. I didn't play Origins or what was the other one? Odyssey.
Oh my gosh, there's like 10 though, right?
There's a
there's a lot. So I don't know if they incorporated those elements into those games, but this is new for me in an Assassin's Creed game, building your own little camp.
Yeah.
So that feels new.
How's the sailing mechanic in it?
It's good. I mean, you actually have, you have this little sail barge and you have your little crew. And then if you come across a place you can raid, you just kind of ease up into it, hit the button, and then everybody scatters out.
Cool.
But it feels pretty natural. I mean, there's not, at least I haven't come across it yet. There's no big boats that I've seen.
Okay.
So it's just like little sail, like the Norse
that makes sense.
sailboats like they have.
Yeah.
So, but it's tight. No, it's fun. I'm enjoying it because, again, kind of like what you said, Eric, I like the exploration aspect of a game sometimes. So I've spent a lot of time just running around doing nothing specific, just, whatever.
Yeah.
Well, that's how you enjoy your open world games.
That's right. That's how I like
It's a
it.
legit way to do it. Yeah.
Open
I
world
even
games have really come a long way. I mean, like, look at what they did with Spider-Man. Holy crap.
Oh,
It's almost too much for me now.
It's a little
I don't know.
overwhelming, yeah.
but Spider-Man is
The
awesome.
potential, though.
No,
yeah,
I'll give you
Spider-Man is
that.
great. Love that game.
There are exceptions to everything.
That was
of
like
course, but
the one game in a long time that I've played multiple times. I've played through that game at least 4 times.
Yeah,
Oh,
I
nice.
finally beat
Yeah.
story mode. It took me a little while. I think I kept getting distracted by all the cool things.
Understandable.
shiny.
Trying to collect all those backpacks, you know.
Lace, you got news for us?
Actually, gloriously that we're talking about Ubisoft.
Oh,
May as well just start right there. May as well just start right there. You probably saw this week and probably, I don't know, maybe the week before last too. I was out last week, so I apologize if I forget what came out what week. But Ubisoft is announcing that they're shifting away a little bit from their traditional strategy of releasing, you know, the 3 to 4 AAA titles each year, which they just promised us last year, I want to say, and going to more high-end free-to-play games for its bigger franchises. So, I admit, I laughed so hard when I was reading this. But, of course, during our earnings call, as we always find out all of our good juicy news when we're leaning into their calls. Yeah, so it looks like in line with their high quality lineup, they want to shift more towards, increasingly diverse games, which now has a more high end free to play model. So it is no longer going to do just its 3 to 4 a year, which I don't even think we got to yet.
No.
By the way, I think everything's been delayed, so I don't even know if they've hit
Right.
that 3 to 4 in a year yet, which is fine. I understand.
Oh,
I
yeah,
mean,
totally.
everyone had a rough year last year, but yeah, I don't know how I feel about all of these companies moving more towards there, because I've even been reading about Sony has been hiring for a more mobile division, which I kind of feel like they might be leaning that way as well. I don't know that I'm a fan,
Yeah, I got mixed feelings here.
because this will definitely, it could end up costing you way more in the long run.
Oh, without a
and
doubt.
that's what they want, I'm sure. But I don't know, maybe I'm getting too old. I'm like, leave my games alone. I
Right.
want to buy a game, I want to play it, and I want you to leave me alone.
But
I mean, DLCs can be
But-
nice sometimes, but
Sure.
But free to play, like, you know that it's going to cost an arm and a leg in the long run.
Well, haven't they already been sneaking that in for those of you who have been playing Assassin's Creed, where you can buy like XP boosters, so the grind isn't as bad? So I feel like they've been kind of lulling its players. Now, granted, I don't play a lot of Ubisoft games. I think I've played like 2 Just Dance. You know, like, it's just not necessarily put out stuff that I gravitate towards. But I don't.
if I
I
may,
feel so weird about this. If you may, please.
You may not. No, I'm just kidding.
if I may, remember who we're talking about, Ubisoft. Remember these companies, AAA, and what are they worried about? Money, 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 money. They want money. This is what this is all about, money. They found a loophole for more money,
Yeah.
and they are going to exploit that hole for money.
I'm telling you, man. Especially with now them already saying that like $70 is going to be your typical price moving forward for next gen,
Which-
and all. It's just
To be fair, they've been doing that already. You can slap all the crap you want, saying this is the Ultimate Edition, $100 is like, so that's what you're charging me for the full game, right? You're just holding back content.
yep,
Yeah.
yep.
You get a
And you're
fancy
not
box,
even buying
though.
the full game.
Yeah, oh yeah. And you feel special
Maybe.
because you've got the Gold Edition.
Well, it's funny. So Mortal Kombat 11, there's a ton of DLCs. If you spent all that money on the DLCs, it would probably cost 4 times as much as the Ultimate Edition, at least.
I did.
Oh, did
Trust
you?
me. Oh my God, I was the one who was angry about this.
I thought.
Because-
But I understand.
Yeah.
That was Garbo the way that went
Oh,
down.
yeah.
Because the fact that anybody right now, this very moment, can go out and buy the Ultimate Edition Mortal Kombat 11, $59.99, and they get everything that I paid $59.99. Well, actually, no, I think I paid the $100 up front when it came out, because that was like with Shao Kahn and all this other stuff, so you get all that stuff. And I was like, cool, I'll just do that. And then there's like, okay, well, now we have this season pass, and it's $39.99. I was like, whoa, what?
Yeah.
And I was like, but then what did they say? I think when the Aftermath package came out, it was like, but these people, now if you buy it now, $59.99. I was like, yeah, but I still have to pay the $39.99. How that doesn't make sense.
Right.
Yeah, you should have gotten everything.
Yeah.
In my opinion, at that point.
And then, of course, when the Ultimate Edition comes around, another combat pack, $14.99. I was like, jeez, come on, man. Yeah, I was mad.
Understandable,
I was
totally. Yeah.
I just hate the nickel and diming portion of all of this, which is, again, why I think I've hardly bought any AAA games. Like, I'm pretty much stuck on indies these days. You get the game when you buy it. You know,
and you're supporting, creators, like,
And it's usually more interesting ideas, better storylines for the most part, because they're not all just worried about the graphics and how cool it's going to look, Yeah. I don't know, kids. If that's what you like, then fine,
Graphics aren't everything.
They're never going to know. I'm telling you, man. The ones these days where it was always so good, I feel bad for them.
Mm-hmm.
They didn't get to go through the whole trial and tribulation of what it was like to buy a broken game and just have to deal with it.
Yep.
You had no one to yell at.
Exactly.
And then, of course, they announced Skull and Bones was delayed again. But if we're honest, I totally forgot that was even a thing at this point. Sure. So they announced it, 4 years ago?
That they announced it the same year as, what was that other pirate game that came out?
Oh, yeah, Sea of Thieves.
Yeah. Because there was like, what, two the same game?
Yeah.
And Sea of Thieves came out and it was a dud.
Well, I think it's doing way better now that it,
Well,
put
it
stuff
had
into it now.
It had that No Man's Sky syndrome where it came out and it was like, what are we supposed to do? And
Yeah, you kind of did everything pretty early, yeah.
So, yeah, it
They could bounce
seemed
back,
cool.
Maybe.
Mm-hmm. It seemed like the cooler version, but where's it at?
I mean, I don't know. I'm giving up on it until I actually see it.
Yeah.
I could blame last year, but I mean, they've been kind of messing around with this game for well before 2020, so I don't know.
Yeah.
This is why you shouldn't announce games until you're ready to release them.
Well, and if it was 4 years ago, they probably have to upgrade it for like next gen now, right?
Right. Oh my God, you're right.
Yeah, so that's going to take a while too, I would imagine.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Oh dear God, you're right. Yeah. Well, they do promise that they're supposedly still not going to take their focus away from AAA first, single player experiences, blah, blah, blah. That's what they say. So we'll see.
Bullshit.
I don't trust it yet, but we'll see. I mean, if they can keep
Fingers
monetizing
crossed.
that Assassin's Creed that way, that could be, well, we gave you your first person game. It was free, but. Oh dear. All right. Well, probably something we've all been looking at this week. The Epic versus Apple has kicked off. We've seen some transcripts. We found some new things that have come out that I don't even know what had to do with this original lawsuit in the first place, but we're learning all sorts of stuff. I've taken a few key highlights. Granted, I'm not going to cover everything because, dear Lord, the amount of stuff that was uncovered for like all these other companies even this week.
Yeah.
They're all going through the mud. Mm-hmm. But let's see here. So the battle, as we all know up till now, has been over the whole 30%, and Epic just feels like Apple's just wanting to have a stronghold over, Apple devices, and that they should just open it up so that anybody can have a storefront on there and Apple shouldn't be monopolizing their whole brand, right? So Sweeney had his opening statements about how Fortnite is a phenomenon that transcends gaming, more as a metaverse than a video game. So definitely trying to let us, it's not just a game. We do concerts, which they do, and then we have all of these battles and new content that we go up there. And it's really more of a platform for creators. We'll see how that works. Mm-hmm. That's one of the arguments there. And you know what, though? I hate to agree with them. It kind of has transcended gaming. I mean,
Little
it's
bit.
like its own thing. People who don't game know of Fortnite.
Yeah.
It's
pretty huge.
kind of nuts.
Yeah.
It's kind of nuts.
How many
so
seasons
well
have they
done there.
been going? Like it's yeah.
I want to say this is their third or fourth, right? That they're coming up on
Something
of
like
each
that.
season. Might be
They
more.
have been around.
Well, as it's Battle Royale. I don't know if I really
okay.
count the stuff before it because nobody really.
Yeah.
I haven't played it since it was a tower defense game.
I'll say
They've
this.
definitely reinvented themselves a few times.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Like I'll say this, and I find this the most fascinating thing in the world, and I wish he'd have stuck with us a little bit longer. You go back to the early days of this podcast. One of our early co-hosts, John Taylor,
Yeah.
we would talk about PUBG all the time. He was hip to Fortnite. Like he knew. He said, no. He said, I know PUBG is what everyone's talking about. He said, no, Fortnite's going to be it. And I was like, are you serious? Like we didn't take him seriously. It was like, are you really? He's like, no, trust me. This will be the game.
Yeah.
And damn if he wasn't right.
Had his finger on the pulse, huh?
Why do you think
Knew
that
what was
is?
going
Like,
on.
what is it about Fortnite?
I don't know.
I really think like the free model I think really helped a
Yeah,
lot.
true.
I mean it's probably more of attractive looking for kids.
It's got some
Maybe
very
because
bright
of its
colors.
graphics.
Yeah.
I'm not saying it's only children that play it. I know a lot of adults who enjoy it as well,
Yeah.
but they must have just done really well with how they marketed it towards them too.
And then of
It,
course
like, it
the
just seemed to blow up
third-party,
for me.
Characters, like they had the Marvel characters in there for a little bit.
Yep.
You know.
They're constantly putting in new characters like that too. Yeah, even like big creators, big streamers and stuff like that. I think some of them have had their own likenesses put in the game as well for a limited time. I know like Ninja did, and maybe like 2 other big Fortnite creators had their own
Like
Avatar?
person in there. Avatar, thank you. I was like, why can I not think of that word? They look like the person in the game.
Yeah.
That you could buy, I think. Let's see. The one revelation, and I think Steven discussed this last week as well, is how Epic cut a deal with Sony on cross-platform play. So we were learning how they were trying to like get their
That's
stuff in there on
exciting.
Sony. Little on the
Cross-platform.
slide.
Oh,
Yeah.
I love that idea.
Yeah, they were wanting to cut a deal because, like, Sony, I think, has actually been charging the developers for games that are cross-platform a little bit more to make up the difference.
Oh, okay.
Garbage.
Yeah. So we've been finding that out. They're like, so when PlayStation was like, all right, we'll do cross-platform, we didn't really learn all of the ins and outs as to why they decided to allow it on certain games.
Yeah.
Now we know. And what I find funny too, NVIDIA was called as a witness. I don't know if we saw this portion too, probably because of its collab with Epic Games on adding Fortnite, of course, to its streaming service, GeForce Now, which we've reported on GeForce Now in the past is not available on iOS natively because of Apple's restrictions. So maybe they wanted to bring NVIDIA like, hey, they can't even play because we're not on there either, you know? And they even got FTC's attention on the 4th day as they were curious about the data collected from players under the age of 13 from Epic. Those are sealed, though. We can't see them.
Okay.
But just so you know, now I guess the FTC's caught their eye because that's not legal here in the States. I don't know about other countries, but like you're not to be collecting data of underage people. So that could be interesting to see.
Oh, yeah.
But my favorite is Banana Court.
Oh, God, yes. Thank you.
We had Banana Court, you guys. So
We missed an opportunity unless you want to do it now, because I'll pull it up right now.
What
We
is
can do a
Oh,
live
totally.
reading of it.
let's do it.
what
Okay,
is Banana
okay.
Court?
Oh, God, no. Eric, we're going to entertain you. Okay?
Okay.
We're going to entertain you. Lace, pick your character. Who do
I'll
you want to be?
I'll be attorney.
You'll be attorney. Okay. You sent that to me, yes? So let me pull it up.
I think so, yeah.
Yep.
It's only
okay,
two
we got the
pages.
transcript. We got the transcript.
Yep.
Boom. Okay.
So first reading, Apple attorney and Weissenberger.
Go for it.
We have in front of us a new set of images. And what is this screen showing?
This is your matchmaking lobby.
And we have a large yellow banana here, don't we, in a tuxedo?
Yes, that's Peely.
And that's Peely, did you say?
Yeah,
And in fact, in the tuxedo, he's known as Agent Peely, correct?
that's correct.
We thought it better to go with the suit than the naked banana since we are in federal court this morning. And we talked about Peely, our banana. Remember that?
I do.
And there might have been an implication that to show Peely without a suit would have been inappropriate. Do you recall that?
Yes.
Is there anything inappropriate about Peely without a suit?
No, there is not.
If we could just put on the screen a picture of Peely, is there anything inappropriate about Peely without clothes?
It's just a banana, ma'am. It's just a banana.
Thank you, Judge.
This was an actual conversation.
Are you serious?
Yes. In court.
That sounds like a bad
Banana
SNL skit.
I know.
Oh, I hope that
Wow.
they do it. Wow, yeah. So we have learned that a banana without a suit, just a banana.
It's just a banana.
Just a banana, guys. I'm sorry. Although a naked banana, wouldn't that be without the peel?
I mean, I'm kind of with you on that.
They'd have to blur out the... Sorry.
Oh my God, just the ideas that I have running through my head. I'm
Yeah.
sure people have already got these skits going. I'm just going to have to actually look. But yeah, so that's what the stuff we're learning out of the Apple versus Epic so far. There's a lot more
So
coming out, of course,
ridiculous.
guys. But we'd be here all day if I was going through all of the different revelations. So those were the ones that I thought was funny.
So much legal drama.
These guys, I tell you, like, they're just going to drag themselves down. It's hilarious. I mean, I'm watching billionaires fight with other billionaires, whatever, have fun. You know, like,
Yeah.
you do you, man.
Just sit back and eat the popcorn.
Right? I don't feel bad for whatever happens here, really. As long as the developers are fine and the consumers can still pay what they want for the damn games. I don't care what you do to each other. Let's see here. Oh boy, Resident Evil had a good week, eh? Resident Evil Village.
I mean, sure, yeah. You did all right.
Seemed like that launch went pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, it was breaking some records too.
Oh, really?
100,000 concurrent players on PC
Wow.
on the first couple days that it launched, which is a record for the series.
Mm-hmm.
For the series, anyway. And it netted like 101,726 concurrent players on its May 7th release day,
Wow.
according to the Steam database. So that's the biggest peak we've seen out of any Resident Evil game so far, which is funny. I don't think it's as long, too.
That's
Not a downfall for me.
I did hear that.
Like, I'm okay with games not being 40 plus hours long, but yeah. I think that Lady Demestru, if I'm saying it right, really
That's
helped
what it
them
is.
out, man.
Yeah. Like my feed is like full of those memes. I'm just like, what is this?
Have you
Like-
seen some of the mods? Oh God,
Maybe.
she's hot, dude. I'm sorry. This one mod that I saw that I was off of ModDB, I think they had her in like this really cool, like lacy lingerie with like the thigh nets. I was like, ooh.
Ooh.
Okay, you can step on me now too. I get it. All right, you know. Yeah. She's done good for him. She's done good for him, I think. But yeah, so I guess you've never was able to go back and play it then, Steven?
Oh, the demo? No, I never did go back to it, but as usual, Todd will let me borrow it.
Oh, there you go. All right. I tried to, and then I missed the window, and then I wasn't on last week. So at that point, I was like, I'm going to miss talking about it anyway. So I don't know if you know this, Eric. I don't play scary movies or scary games that well. I can watch
really?
scary movies all day long, but when
Yeah.
I'm the one who's in control, I get way too tense, and it's just like, no. I'd rather watch. I don't need to be in control of all this. So
Yeah. I don't play a lot of them. Like I really loved what was it? Until Dawn? That was
that's
good.
good.
That
Yeah,
was a good one. But I might check this one out because it's got vampires.
it's true.
I mean, Resident Evil's usually zombies, right? And zombies are good, but they're kind of overdone. But
at this point,
vampires
for sure.
kind of intrigues me, you know?
Yeah, I would say. I mean, I'll find someone to
It's
watch
not just
it.
because the, big lady.
Right.
She's a
Although
fact.
it's like all I can think of with it now, right? Like
Maybe a factor.
she did. And I also have to mention, like, of course, a modder also made the zombies or I guess vampires in this one. Barney, the
What?
dinosaur. That was
Wow.
hilarious. Someone did that
hilarious.
on the demo. I'm telling you, modders are great.
Yeah.
Like, do we need
definitely.
this? No. But is it hilarious? Yes.
My question is, why Barney? Why was that where
Why
his
not?
mind went? It was like, you know what?
Because it
Barney.
looked so ridiculous to see like a hallway of Barneys
I guess.
making the noises, and then getting shot, and like you can see the blood, but like Barney's looking fine,
But how funny.
I feel like
Sometimes it's just for
Teletubbies would
funny.
be
Oh my God,
more
yes.
terrifying. Yeah.
and add in the sounds. Don't just keep the Resident
Yeah,
Evil sounds
exactly.
like dinky, pow, and then just I mean, come on, this would be gold.
Well, they're doing it for free, man. I guess they're only going to invest so much time. But yeah, I've downloaded some of those. It's my single player experience. I can put whatever I want in it. I'm not cheating,
Yeah.
So those are fun. Let's see. So Gabe Newell, I think, was trying to tease us a little bit this week as well. Our good old buddy over at Valve, Steve, has just been living off in New Zealand this whole time. So he was speaking in Santa Maria College in Auckland, New Zealand last week, and a student asked if games from Steam could be ported to consoles, and apparently Gabe hesitated and then replied, "You'll have a better idea of that by the end of the year."
Oh,
So,
what does that mean?
I know, but I think the student might have meant Steam Valve games, just to be fair, because like Steam is just the marketplace, and so those aren't all his games. He just sells them, right? So I think it would be fun to speculate, because I've also saw rumors about Half-Life Alyx possibly going to the PSVR.
Okay.
Oh, cool.
Why
And we
wouldn't
have had Portal on console before, so I don't think it's that far-fetched. But I want to know, are they actually making a new one?
Mm-hmm.
Half-Life or Portal?
Like just Valve in general, because they don't really like, other than Half-Life Alyx, I guess was the last one they put out, but they don't really do a lot of developing of the games these days,
True.
So I'm curious what they could, if it really is just Half-Life Alyx to PSVR, and I feel like you put a bunch of hype out there for nothing.
Mm-hmm. They would be ridiculous not to capitalize on other VR headsets other than their $1,100.
Right.
Piece
I
of
wonder if it's
hardware.
still that price.
Yeah,
I haven't checked on it in a while.
I'm sure it's still out there.
I'm sure it is. They're high end. I don't know. Maybe they're going to come up with their own console. I mean,
It's such a steep competition already. I don't know.
True, but I never would have thought they
lose
would
a
have
lot of
ventured into
money.
VR.
True.
I mean, if they could have done the stream games from your, what was that Steam Link thing? Was it?
Oh, that works.
Does it?
Oh,
Yeah.
the Steam box? Is that what it
Oh, the
was?
Steam.
Oh,
Box.
the Steam box. I do
Is that what it
remember
was?
that.
Yeah.
I never had one, but I do remember it, right? Where it was
I
kind of
remember
like
it
a little
briefly,
PC.
and it kind of disappeared.
Right.
I feel like.
Yeah.
See, something like that would have been cool because I would play more of my Steam games.
Right, on the TV or whatever.
Right.
Yeah. That'd be
Yeah,
cool.
I wonder why they let that go. But what's funny is, like, I think the reason why that probably wasn't as successful is just because the crossover with PC and console gamers are usually pretty different. Like if you're... I think I might be an anomaly where I buy both. Well, I buy PlayStation and then my PC, because I've been sitting very comfortably that anytime Xbox, Microsoft has anything exclusive, I've still been able to play it on PC.
Sure.
So I haven't felt the need to buy an Xbox. But and with the other bit of news that people were getting all pissy about Starfield going to be a Microsoft exclusive. Oh, they say Xbox exclusive. That's the new like RPG that Bethesda's been talking about.
Oh, yeah.
And I thought it was hilarious that, the Sony people don't know how to react to this now. It's not fair.
Well,
Did you know, Steven, that it's not fair to have exclusive for consoles?
This was what was going to happen. The moment they bought Bethesda, this was going to happen. I don't know what
You
world.
spend billions of dollars. What were you thinking? Yeah.
There was never any doubt in my mind that at one point they were going to be like, this is ours, and we're going to keep it over here. Now, what was the Deathloop? That's the game coming out.
Oh, yeah.
Probably going to be the last exclusive because that was being
both.
made
Oh, yeah.
before the buyout. But the moment that buyout, no, you cannot expect their games to go two ways. I mean, Sony has a monopoly on first-party, amazing exclusives. So Microsoft kind of needs this.
Yeah.
I mean, it's kind of starting to put them on a different playing field with the rest of it, right?
Yeah.
I was not surprised. I was not surprised.
They can't live off of Halo the rest of their days.
And that keeps getting delayed too.
Yes.
So we're not even sure whenever that's going to happen. So yeah, I totally thought it was going to be an exclusive. I thought it was just more funny for me to watch back. Now,
what are they on now? Like Halo 6?
I think so.
Well, they're calling it Infinite.
Infinite, right? For the next
that's
gen.
right. That's right.
Yeah.
It was supposed to launch, I think, with the Series X. Like it was going to be one of their first games to launch with it, and then I forgot to look up what's still happening with that. I mean, I think they're still actively working on it.
Well, we talked about it.
But
yeah, we talked about it last week when I was with Todd, and it came down to they were building it. They were trying to build a new engine versus trying to continue making the game at the same time because they knew they had to build a new engine to support this idea that they had. So how do you build a new engine and still develop the game at the same time? And then you wonder how this is not going to work simultaneously. You know? It just, there was a lot of...
Yeah, it seemed like you would have known, like, my next
yeah.
console's coming out. Maybe I need to. I don't know.
You would think.
If I knew how it worked back there, I'd have so many more answers for people on some of these things that we find. But to me, the big takeaway was Sony fan people, look, let's have a talk. We've had a good run, right? Like, we've had a heyday being a PlayStation fan. We've got so many amazing exclusives. And you've had so many years of getting to poke at the Xbox people for it that I think we need to sit down, take what we can, and move on. It's just as fair as it's always been. And just because it's not for you this time, it's still fair. It's still just as fair as it's always been. So calm down or buy an Xbox. There's my rant.
It's funny they don't complain about the Nintendo exclusives, you know?
Never!
That's never.
It's always like green versus blue for life, I guess. I don't know. I don't care. Play what you like, where you like. Get mad at people for that. Anyway, I think this will be just fun right here. We should speculate. All of us here. So, spotted by VGC, the publisher's latest presentation for Sega here was outlining the company's plans going forward that key to Sega's 5-year plan, still unknown, but they are talking about this super game, which the publisher only describes as a new IP with global reach. And Sega doesn't expect massive profitability at first, but hopes that the game's reach will increase. So I'm starting to wonder if it's like one of those, maybe like open world RPG. Do you think they'd actually do an MMO?
What was the game that they said this is a brand new IP, or they're bringing
brand new IP?
So it's definitely not like a Sonic thing.
Super game. This is all they're telling us so far.
Is that the title? Super
like
game?
They're just calling it like that. We have a real super game that's coming out, and it's a new IP with global reach. It kind of smells of MMO to me.
Yeah.
See,
or
I was
even
kind
a
of
MOBA?
leaning toward. Since you said new IP, it's going to be something Fortnite-esque. $10. They're gonna
With
nickel and
Sega?
dime the shit out of people. But
Oh, something like that. I got you.
something like that. It's going to be something to that effect. But the first franchise that came to mind that they have kind of dropped off on was Phantasy Star, and that was an online game, Phantasy Star Online.
That's right.
Oh,
But
yeah.
if it's new, then I don't know, unless they're throwing that word around loosely. I don't know. That was my speculation. If you're going to do something like this, why not?
Yeah.
So.
BR or MMO would probably, because if it's not going to be profitable right away, but they expect to over time, I'll have to see. I mean, it's kind of exciting to hear that Sega's wanting to like start making some new stuff again.
Yeah, definitely.
was a huge fan growing up. I haven't played a whole lot recently, of course. But with this announcement, they are planning on rebooting some of their favorite ones as well. So either through remasters, remakes, or just full-on reboots. Sega names Crazy Taxi is one they're looking into.
Oh, nice. I loved that game.
I had so much fun with that game.
Yeah.
Virtua Fighter. And
Nice.
for me, I played the crap out of this one in the arcades anyway. I don't know about y'all, but House of the Dead.
Oh my God, yes. I used to play that in the arcade all the time.
All the time.
Yeah.
I don't know why I gravitated towards that game in the arcade, but I always want to play it first thing.
It doesn't hold up, but like it was fun at the time for sure. It's a rail shooter, right? Like,
Right. Yeah. You're totally on rails.
Yeah. No, that's good stuff.
I
I'd
played it-
love to see a remake of that.
Me too. I was excited when I read that. I'm like, screw your new IP. I kind of want to see this. Not saying screw it. I'm sure it might be lovely as well. I don't know anything of it, but and then it seems like the other one, which I personally don't recall, but Panzer Dragoon.
I've never heard of that. Have you, Steven?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I remember hearing about it, and I guess it was beloved, but I didn't like it. It just wasn't the game for me.
Okay.
You know?
Sure.
That's fair. All right. Well, that's the big news out of Sega. Okay, so we're going to say Steven thinks it's a battle royale. I'm going to go with an MMO. And just for like internet points, what do you think, Eric?
Oh man. Like when I heard that, I was like, I mean, is it? I don't know. For some reason, I kept thinking Sonic, but it's a new IP.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, maybe it's a Super Sonic game, but I mean,
Well, what
I
is?
don't know.
We can see them saying like new IP, but it's a new game in
Yeah.
Sega or in Sonic's universe, maybe.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Well, they said it had global appeal, or
Yeah.
they're expecting
What's
it to
global
have
reach?
global reach. I think you're onto something with the MMO thing though. That does sound right. Did they say which system, or if it's like straight to PC or?
Mm-mm. That's like all they're bragging about right now is that they're working on this super game. I'm
Yeah.
putting it in quotations because that's like, I guess, the name for it right now that'll have global reach.
Yeah.
So, all right.
Yeah.
We're going to go with that. I'm going to see. We'll probably forget in the next 3 years when it actually comes out. So we'll see. So just a fun a couple of quick hits here before, we move on to totally digging into Eric's life and getting all of the juicy goods. So this was fun. We were talking about how Pokemon trading cards have just like blown up here recently, and it could be months before you could even have anything graded.
God, yeah.
Well, because humans are idiots, you might have also heard this week that Target announced it's just not going to sell them anymore. You could buy them online, but we're not doing it in brick and mortar stores anymore because apparently humans like to stand in line, fight, cause all sorts of troubles over these darn cards. And Target's like, you know what? No, we're not doing this.
It's funny you mentioned that. I haven't been able to find them at Walmart or Target.
Walmart stopped for a while because
Yeah.
of the same reason, although they announced in the same thing that I read that they'll start doing it again, but I don't know for how long.
Now, did you hear that story that I mentioned last week about the vandalization of cereal boxes for Pokemon
Right?
What the
cards?
heck?
Yeah.
What the heck?
People are garbage.
And it's adults doing them. Yeah, like
Yes.
my stepson wanted some Pokemon cards for his birthday, and I couldn't find them anywhere. I had to order some online.
Yep,
So-
this is why.
That was frustrating.
Yeah. So apparently you can still buy them online, but if you just want to get into fights, they're like, we're done with this. We're not. I bet all of these luxury
get
goods
it.
are going to start going this way because people just can't be kind to one another and wait
Yeah,
their
people
turn in
suck.
line.
Right.
And apparently it's all of our faults that your kid didn't get its thing.
Yeah.
And then we got to go through all that. So I don't blame them. I'm sure the
No, I don't
Target
blame 'em
workers
at all.
even are like, I'm not doing this. During all of this other stuff I have to deal with right now, people fighting over Pokemon.
Right.
No, I'm not coming in for $7 an hour doing this anymore. I'm done. Anyway,
Yeah.
that was my rant. That was my thought of what Target employees sound like. Anyway, and then
As a
if you-
former Target employee, that was pretty accurate.
Oh, is it? Good. I actually worked for Target for like 3 whole months when I was like 16. So that,
yeah.
I don't know. I quit because they wanted me to work on a day that I wanted to go hang out with my boyfriend at the time. So it shows you how much I really cared about it. I was making like
the right choice.
$5 an hour. Come on. I wanted to hang out with my boyfriend. I was 16. But the last one that I think is great. We were assured this week from Nate Ahern. Stadia, you guys, it's alive and well. It's doing fine. I don't know why everyone's panicking. All right. Sure, it admitted to a rocky start, especially with PC, as you know. I mean, it did close its internal studio. So, and I mean, Jade Raymond did leave. Sure. I mean, and John Justice, their VP, also left last month, I think. Like 6 other members. What was I saying again? Yes, it's alive and well. It's doing good, he says. So, Stadia is now being headed up by Dov Zimring, who Google rep described as a senior leader in the product development for both Project Stream and Stadia.
With a name like that, I would hope so.
Although the Project Stream seemed pretty cool because that was more aimed at like helping indies be able to self-publish their own games. So I'd like to see that area get fleshed out and everything. But I guess we'll see. They're saying it's fine, guys. In spite of everything I just said. So it's live and well. Keep going to Stadia. And they'll have a search bar. So
They still don't. No. Yeah. Okay. Sure. We won't even get into that. No.
That was just hilarious to me. I don't know. Did you hear that, Eric? That they just got a search bar like last week or the week before?
You would think that'd be like one of the first things,
Google.
You'd think.
Just basic
Search
design,
engine company.
Yeah.
I don't know. I find this hilarious. Epic, why do you still not have a cart? You guys wonder
Weird.
why your storefronts are doing as well and why Steam is. Like, all they have to do is just put stuff on there and sit back.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean,
Like, they have a cart.
They've got a good UI, but it's not that hard to just get the basics right,
That's true.
You would think.
They've had many years to get it right before everybody else started entering the space as well. To be fair, like it really was just like Steam and then that was it. But
like
cart.
I'll even argue in favor of a cart using another platform. Voodoo.
There you
if
go.
they had
Yeah.
a cart, oh my God, the amount of money I would probably spend in one sitting. But I'm always worried that if I buy here and buy there, then they're going to be like, whoa. My card, my bank is going to be like, there's activity going on. What's
exactly
happening?
it.
So I don't
Yeah.
want
That's
to
exactly it.
buy here and buy, like, just pick and choose. It's just like, well, I guess I better choose what I really want or nothing at all. But if they had a cart, I'd be like, that one, and that one, and that one, and that one.
I do love Voodoo. I'm kind of obsessed with Voodoo. I know you've talked about it before,
Same.
Steven. I've been really building up my collection over the last few years. It's getting out of hand.
Yeah.
And I think it's because the way they have like the wish list on there, like you could just like kind of scroll through and see when there's sales and stuff. And that really got me.
The $4.99 sales. Anytime
Oh my God.
you find
yeah.
something that you're just like, yeah, okay, yeah, I want it. $5, why not?
Yeah, it's like I might watch it one more time in my life. But
But
I just
right
want to
here.
have it just in case. Yeah.
Right. Yeah,
have it.
no, it's there.
Exactly.
Well, oh, okay. I'll mention this. I think it's just kind of cool. And then we'll move on. Call of Duty is getting a Die Hard crossover. Come on, that's kind of fun.
Sure.
Wait,
I
for
don't
real?
play it at all. Yeah, so
I
fans of the
don't
game,
either, but I
there's
love
a
Die Hard.
trailer. You should check it out. It's actually just kind of fun. I was watching. I'm like, I don't play Call of Duty or any of that, but I thought this was fun. And I mean, honestly, I'm kind of surprised it hadn't happened before now, I guess. But see, we were watching the trailer and fans were given this true indication because you see John McClane
Oh my God.
will be joining in some shape or form the way that they ended the trailer, to go on for that. So yeah, if you're a Call of Duty fan and a Die Hard fan, this could be fun for you on May 20th. May 20th.
I have to ask. You said John McClane, but are we talking Bruce Willis?
Yeah, like young
Was
Bruce
it
Willis?
Bruce Willis?
It kind of has to be, right?
I
like
mean, isn't that
You'd
who it
think
is
so.
now?
But look at the abomination we got in Mortal Kombat 11. We got a face of Arnold
Oh,
Schwarzenegger.
Oh, that was
But we
weird.
got this-
Yeah.
Yeah,
It wasn't even a
how?
good
How?
impression. I know. Like they got all the voices for all these other characters, but Schwarzenegger is the Terminator.
Yeah. You know what? I
And he
mean, it
couldn't be
looks like
bothered.
Bruce, but now that you said that, I don't know if I was really paying attention to like if it sounded like that or anything. But I mean, it looks like him.
Oh, okay. Well, that's a start.
It'd
You
be
know.
the easiest work he's ever had to do. He phones in everything else. I mean,
Yeah.
he could phone this
Yes.
True.
Easy.
These days,
For real. Mm-hmm. Like Harrison Ford level phoning in.
Yeah. Oh God, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh God. Well, I don't know. I thought it looked cool, and if you're a diehard fan, now it's Christmas all year long for your Call of Duty.
Woo!
Nice.
That's the major movie.
Speaking of Harrison Ford, sorry, I wanted to just since you brought it up. Speaking of Harrison Ford, did you hear about the Indy 5 movie happening and all that?
Yes. Mixed feelings.
Oh, no.
Mixed
Okay.
feelings. I
feelings?
love Indiana Jones, and I love Harrison Ford. What are your thoughts? Sorry.
No, I'm kind of excited mainly because I feel like they've got competent people behind the camera, and look, I like Steven Spielberg. Don't get me wrong, but you have now handed this over to a competent director, James Mangold. He's proven his mettle time and again. He's assembling an amazing cast along with Harrison Ford. I cannot imagine this being a terrible script. Phoebe Waller-Bridge, Mads Mikkelsen, Boyd Holbrook.
Oh, that's right. He is in it. Yeah, I heard about that.
Yeah, he's putting together a hell of a cast, and I'm starting to feel pretty good about it.
How do you think they're going to approach it? Do you think it's going to like be flashbacks, like with him as like kind of like the bookends for it, kind of like young Indiana Jones style?
I don't know. I really, I mean, don't have.
I didn't love Crystal Skull. You know,
no, it's
I don't
a hard
hate it,
watch.
but it's not the same. You know, it's a whole different kind of feel. And I think part of that's because they had to like move it up timeline wise. It's in the 50s rather than the, late 30s, early 40s. So
and I think it would have been an easier pill to swallow, but they're visually drastically different because all the original films were very practical in their approach, and this is so CG heavy that it's just like, this is not an Indiana Jones movie. At least not what I'm used to.
I'm cautiously optimistic. I hope that this one will be more in line with what we love about, Raiders and Temple of Doom and all that. So
I don't know.
Exciting.
I have faith in James Mangold. I mean, everything he's done has just been so good.
True.
I feel like he'll take care of Indy. So
I hope so.
Here's hoping. Fingers crossed.
I hope so. Yeah. Oh, definitely. All my fingers.
and George Lucas is gone. He's nowhere to be found.
There you go. That's what we need to hear. Yep.
So that's already a plus. Look, credit where credit's due.
Lucas a lot, but he had a cool concept, but it's time to like pass it along.
Yeah. Star Wars is in a much better place now because he's not around. Look,
exactly.
Great credit where credit's due. But you're in your head too
all
much,
the best
man.
Star Wars movies were not directed by George Lucas,
Right?
Weird.
Right? It is.
Yeah. What's that all about?
Hey, are you done with your quickets?
I am.
Okay. I've got one. I got one.
Oh.
Mainly because this was something that we had talked about some time ago, and I just wanted to clarify because I got clarification since I'm part of the whole Kickstarter message program.
Oh.
So, do you remember when Freakpocalypse came out, the Sonite and Happiness game? There was this concern that people were going to have to buy the other chapters, and like if you bought the game, so on and so forth. So there's a bit of an explanation for that came out.
Okay.
If you backed the game on Kickstarter, whatever you put in, I guess if you got the tier where you get the game, you have the game fully. So each episode, you get all 3. If you are just now buying it, you will be buying chapters. So,
how much is
to
it
be aware.
initially?
They said that it was going to be like either $30 or $40, but then they scaled it back to $20. So
$20, knowing you'll buy the other chapters when it came out, or if you did $30 on the backer or whatever, you get the whole thing.
To
I
some
confuse
degree.
It more?
No. If you did not back it, if you don't back it, or if you did not back the game on Kickstarter, you will have to buy each chapter separately. if I remember hearing this correctly.
Okay. But you can buy the whole thing and just like, or like, can you spend more money, buy the whole thing, and then just get the episodes as they release?
That's how you're going to have to do it.
You know how with Walking Dead, you could buy here's my $30 and then I'll get the episodes when they release.
No. It's going to be
That's what I was wondering.
chapter by chapter. You just have to buy it when it comes
Okay.
out. But those of us who
Okay.
backed it, we get
Alright.
it up front.
Well, good.
Oh, cool.
Good. At least.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just so you're aware.
All right.
I got to truth or trash. I got to truth
You
or
gotta
trash.
truth or
Everybody-
trash.
Yes,
Let's
I got to
do
truth
it.
or trash because I thought this was a great idea or a
Mm-hmm.
great
Okay.
rumor because
Ew.
that's what our truth or trash is. So, Eric,
always
if you've
are.
been listening, you know what a truth
Yeah.
or trash. You tell
I've heard
me
one or two.
if this is truth or it's trash.
Yep.
Sure.
So, we ready for this?
I am.
Ready for this? NetherRealm Studios, the studio behind Mortal Kombat
Mm-hmm.
and Injustice,
That's right.
their next fighting game extravaganza will be Marvel versus DC.
Oh God, I hope it's true. Is it true? Do you have the inside knowledge?
This is why it's truth or trash. What do we think?
We usually try to take some rumor.
Well-
Be careful. Steven can sometimes change one little thing about it.
Yeah. Okay, so what I heard
Mm-hmm.
was that it was a Marvel game,
Marvel versus DC?
but I don't know about. I mean,
would approve
that would
it?
be amazing. That would be amazing, but I feel like they might first put out like just Marvel, and then the next one be like an Injustice Marvel versus DC style
Maybe.
game.
But that's the way. But wouldn't that be the way to trick you? They make you think, oh, it's just Marvel, and then they leave
Yeah.
that one little.
Because, like, to me, I'm like, who would approve it? Like, who's making the money? Marvel, DC, both. Are they willing to share? WB.
Well,
Like,
NetherRealm is owned by WB, which owns DC,
Right.
Or
Right.
maybe I have some of those backwards.
No.
like I knew
Right.
WB had DC.
Yeah.
So
Enix has been doing more Marvel.
don't forget the Lego
happen.
stuff. Marvel's dealt with them too.
Yeah, that's true.
And so that's like yet another entity, and they've released under Warner Brothers.
True.
So
You know what? Yeah, I'm going to say truth because it would be cool.
it would be cool.
I feel like it's too good to be true.
For sure.
I'm going to say trash, but I hope I'm wrong. That sounds amazing. That's
Right?
a dream come true for me.
Yeah. I want this to be true. We've had it happen in the comics.
Oh, yeah.
I don't
Not since the 90s.
not
but
since
yeah,
the
it's
90s,
happened.
but it's happened. Like there was a huge surge of it in the 90s, which I thought
Yeah,
was
oh, yeah.
amazing. I was all in for
Totally.
it.
That JLA versus Avengers.
Yes.
Oh, my God. So good.
I don't see why this
So cheesy,
couldn't
but
work as a video game because I know film,
Yeah.
that's an entirely different beast, and
Oh, yeah.
hell
that's a
will freeze
whole
over
other
before that
story.
happens.
Right?
Uh-huh. Yeah.
But
Yeah.
in a video game setting, why couldn't this work?
Well, we did get DC versus Mortal Kombat, which was kind of a weird crossover, but it
Sure.
still mostly worked.
Yeah.
I think that's kind of what led to Injustice becoming a game.
Mm-hmm.
I think a DC versus Marvel game could be incredible.
Yeah.
I mean, Injustice is a lot of fun, but you add in like Spider-Man, Wolverine, you know,
Oh, man. Yeah.
Magneto,
And it be the Injustice style of fighting because those you got to admit the fighting in those games is pretty solid.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
You know,
yeah,
for sure.
So
those are good.
and the stories are amazing. So
They've done a really good job with those, surprisingly.
Mm-hmm. I want it to be true, but I am leaning toward trash.
Well, I hope it
want
is
it to be true.
Then I can be like, yeah. It's
Yeah.
Hey, we're just being realists here. That's
That's fine. I can
there's
live
too
in
much
my
money.
world. Oh, I know. I think you're right. I think they'll
But if you
destroy
think about
themselves trying to get their equal fair share of the characters they own, and it'll never happen.
That's definitely the hurdle they have to overcome, but like that game would make all the money.
God, it
Oh,
like
yeah.
how many fans would love something like that, you know?
All you have to do is the trailer just shows pitting
Just the title.
characters.
That's all you need.
Yeah. You see all this happen. Batman versus Wolverine. There you go. Boom. Done.
Yeah,
You've already
that
sold
alone.
everybody.
See, I hope they're listening.
Well,
We've given out so many good ideas on this
We
show.
have.
I'm just saying.
Yeah. Ed Boon, come talk to us.
Right? Oh my God. If he likes one of your tweets now.
I mean, hey,
Oh,
we've seen it happen.
It's true.
Oh, man.
Be like, oh my
Fingers
God.
crossed. Speaking of that, what do you think the next Mortal Kombat game is going to be? Because I know that the next game probably won't be a Mortal Kombat game. They're probably going to take a break.
Sure.
Do this Marvel vs. DC game.
Right? They're busy.
But after the hype for that dies down, what do you think we'll see with MK12?
I think they have an opportunity to start fresh.
Me too.
Especially after the way Aftermath ended. They have a
Yeah.
clean slate. Like, they haven't had a slate this clean since doing the reboot, but this is even cleaner.
Yeah.
Like, we're not even worried about, well, how did we get here?
Yeah,
So-
they definitely wrapped it up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I say just think, go wherever.
See, for me, I think a prequel game is the way to go.
That would be cool. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I mean, because there's so much stuff alluded to in the past that we just never saw because it's all pre the original tournament. Go back 500 years. Go back to like the original tournament. You know, have King Jared as a character. Maybe it's Shang Tsung's origin story. Maybe he's the hero, but he like has like a tragic downfall by the end, ends up betraying Earthrealm and joins Shao Kahn.
And then
Or, you know, yeah,
Heck, we
there's so
could
many
even pick a
possibilities
completely different universe. Honestly, right? Like, does it have to just be these two realms? Can't we see another one?
there. Oh, that's the other thing. Like, you could, that frees you up to have Edenia and like some of the other realms, you know?
Like, that could be interesting too, I think.
yeah.
Just totally
No,
new
I
stories
agree.
that we haven't been bombarded with
Yeah.
for 30 years, I guess.
Oh yeah, totally.
Yeah.
There's a lot of possibility there, and then you can also have, you know, Hanzo and Bihan before they become Sub-Zero and Scorpion.
Yeah.
I was actually hoping that we could, they would actually flesh out the original Kung Lao. We always hear about this guy who,
Yes.
you know, won the tournament way back when and defeated Goro. So why not
Yeah.
see this character?
Right. Ooh.
That could be cool.
Yeah. I like that idea.
I'm excited for this game that hasn't been announced.
Right? I guess we got some work to do.
Right?
Yeah.
What do we got to go get? How many signatures? I don't know.
Whatever it takes.
Whatever it
I
takes.
think they have a great starting point, which is
They really do.
fresh. Go
Yeah,
wherever.
just relaunch it.
So Eric, why don't we do a little deep dive? Because we want to ask the real hard, important questions
Oh boy.
to kind of get into it. Because Lisa, I can see it in her eyes. She's got like fire burning questions.
Oh man.
This is where you find out my secret really is just asking questions along the way, like organically. I do have one.
Okay.
Sure.
What is too many cats?
Oh wow. Okay, so currently we have 6.
Okay, yeah, you might be right. That might be too many.
It's a lot. It's a lot. Now I need to explain
Okay.
that part of this is my fault because so Meg, my fiance, she had 4 cats. And I brought one into the equation, and then we rescued a cat together that we were going to rehabilitate and, you know, what's the term for that?
Like
Rehome it, and then we just kind of fell in love with the cat and then couldn't get rid of it.
Oh, like you were fostering.
happens.
Maybe that was
Yeah, we were fostering.
Yeah,
That's what
okay.
it was. Yeah. So yeah, that's my fault.
I don't know
Partially.
that I could just
A
give
coup-
one up that I've been taking care of though either.
Yeah. A couple of the cats are a little on the older side, so it's, you know,
Aw.
yeah.
Well,
Like one of them, this cat named Beast. He's I have to give him like medication twice a day and stuff, and he, you know, but he's adorable.
that was like my cat. She lived to be 18, but she did have her own
Yeah.
pill box.
Yeah.
And
exactly.
it did get to the point where it's like, well, you know, things are stopping. So you get this pill in the morning, this in the afternoon,
yep.
this syringe is for this. Yeah, we'll fight about it, but you'll love me later. Yeah.
It's a lot. They're worth it, but yeah, you know.
Aw. Well, see, I'm telling you, I have the deep questions.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
That is a good question.
Well, since we've already covered that, I don't know if I can match that.
I'm telling you.
That was the deepest one.
The deep dive.
Oh yeah. That's the most important question.
But I'll try. I do want to kind of go into something because we kind of touched on the podcast, a similar thing. You've kind of covered that. So, I mean, I think we've got that pretty much figured out.
Mm-hmm.
But,
okay.
From what I could tell, from what I dug up, you're a bit of a history buff. Would that be incorrect to say?
I think that's accurate.
Okay. I mean, we mentioned that you're an author. You've had a blog, a podcast, and a book series, Epic Fails.
That's correct.
Now, which one of these things actually started first?
Okay, so it started back in college. It was the blog.
Mm-hmm.
I started this blog, and I didn't expect it to go anywhere. But what happened was throughout school, just school in general, public school, like I had very little interest in history. And it wasn't until college that I like really did a deep dive, and I was like, I've been missing all of this. Like, it's so much more interesting than what I was given like in middle school and high school, because we're given like this cookie cutter version. It's, very black and white, but when you really dig into the details, it's fascinating,
Yeah.
And a lot of times history's kind of, history's told from the victor's point of view, and we're always like putting people on pedestals, but we're never looking at them critically.
True.
There's a lot we can learn from like the mistakes of history. That's the interesting stuff. And there's a lot of pretty funny stuff that's happened, like
yes, I was
that
flipping
people just
through some of
ignore.
yours. I was like, oh my God, these are great. Like, this is
Well,
content. Right?
thank
This
you.
is great.
But yeah, so that's kind of how it started. I just felt like I need to get the word out on some of this stuff. Like, this is, I feel like not enough people have that view of it,
Sure.
So yeah, it was basically like, instead of like, praising people, I wanted to, criticize historical figures.
Sure. And I mean,
that's kind of how it started, at least,
Yeah.
Yeah. And that's actually a pretty interesting approach, especially considering now is kind of based on what you just said there. You weren't really into history
growing up.
Is that why you kind of aimed the book series toward middle school kids?
Kinda. So the book series came a little bit later, but originally with the blog, I was kind of aiming at like college age students, because the humor and stuff, it was a little bit, less kid friendly, I guess, at first. And yeah, it was originally more for fun, but I kind of kept it going, and it started to kind of build up a little bit of a fan base. And that's actually how I met Ben Thompson, who's got his own blog, and he's got his own series of books and stuff. He's from badassoftheweek.com. He's written a few different book series, including Guts and Glory and all that. So we kind of got talking, and I had talked to him like, I've been considering writing a book at some point. And my original thought was just like have like it be like one book with a bunch of different stories, like an anthology of different epic fails throughout history. And we ended up, long story short, we ended up collaborating on the books together. And he thought that, aiming at like a middle grade audience might be the way to go, and to do it as like a series of books rather than just one big one,
Sure.
So that's kind of how that came along.
But I mean, it's done in a very non-condescending way. So you guys are actually hitting a nice balance of trying to educate and inform while also kind of being somewhat entertaining.
Yeah, we try. We tried with the middle grade. So with the books, not only were we aiming at like a younger audience, because we wanted to get kids interested into history like earlier on, because there's so many adults that just don't care, that never learned about it, that kind of thing.
That we all get to deal with today.
Yeah, exactly.
Deep South.
Exactly.
Anyway.
Oh yeah, I know exactly what you mean.
Yeah. Anyway.
So with the books though, instead of just being about like, just like the biggest epic fails in history, we wanted to focus in on the ones where it was failures that led to success. It was all about perseverance and not giving up. It was about like the first one's on the Wright brothers. And a lot of people don't realize before they had their success with, creating the world's first airplane, they had a lot of failures that they had to overcome. Like every step of the way, something went wrong. It was like Murphy's Law, And it's a crazy story how, these two guys, they changed the world just because they had this idea that they didn't give up on. So that's kind of like the theme of the book specifically, which I really enjoyed, because I think they're, we all have failures that we have to overcome, and we have mistakes that we have to learn from, and that's just part of the human experience.
Right.
And there's nothing wrong with that as long as you do learn from, those mistakes,
Right.
And I think that's what history is all about.
And that's inspiring to kids that age, or at least I would hope it would be.
Yeah, right? Exactly.
I hope so. Yeah, I've gotten some good feedback, from kids. I've done some, events at schools and things like that. Ben and I actually did an event at the Smithsonian a couple years back when the books were first coming out, which was pretty nuts. What's really funny, though, is we flew out for the event in January, and it was the month that Trump caused what was it called? The government shutdown.
Oh, the insurrection?
The government shutdown happened. No, it was before that.
Oh, we're talking way back. Oh, yeah, the government shutdown. Sure.
Yeah, I think it was 2018. The shutdown happened right as we were flying out there. And of course, the Smithsonians are part of the government, so they shut down. We had the event scheduled and everything, so we flew out for no reason. And we got stuck in the cyclone, the polar vortex. That's
my God.
So it was so cold. It was so freaking cold. And we were out there for no reason. We were just stuck there for a week, and it was the funniest thing. It was of course
this would happen. Yeah.
So we had fun with it, though. We took a picture outside of this museum with the sign that said closed due to the government shutdown, and it's epic fails, #epic fails. Come check out our books. We're here for a book signing that we can't get into.
I mean, honestly, kind of
it was
perfect
so on
PR,
brand.
even if it was annoying.
Oh, yeah. It was perfect the way it worked out. But what's really cool is that we did get an opportunity to go back later that year, and that event was amazing. I'm a huge fan of the history of NASA and all that, and so to see some of that stuff up close, because I hadn't actually been to the Air and Space Museum before, so that was really something. Yeah. And they had we were geeking out the whole time because I was just pointing to things oh, we wrote about that. That's in the book. Oh, it's so cool. the little wind tunnel that the Wright brothers made and stuff like that. But yeah, there was a lot of cool stuff. So yeah, the first book, like I mentioned, was on the Wright brothers. The second one was on the early days of NASA, the space race and all that. The third one was on, it's called Not So Great Presidents. And that was an interesting one because initially, so this was actually the idea of the editor when we were coming up with concepts that we might want to write about. He's oh, I want you guys to do a book on the presidents. It's okay. Which ones? And they didn't really have a lot of feedback for us, so we kind of had to figure it out. We ended up writing about all of them and then cutting it down to which ones kind of made the most sense for the book. So we wrote way more material than we needed to for that book and then just cut it down.
Aw. That's probably part of the process, though, huh?
Yeah, definitely. With the NASA book, I went way over word count on that one just because there's so much cool stuff to talk about.
Yeah.
And they're like, no, let's just end it here with the Apollo-Soyuz mission. But I got into Elon Musk and SpaceX and all that.
DLC.
I was covering everything initially, and they're like, no, let's just keep it to this era. I'm like, all right.
Just so you don't get in trouble from people who are still alive or whatever.
Well, I think part of it was they're we're aiming these at middle schoolers, so we don't want a 2,000 page,
That's fair, actually.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So you guys,
that was really the only challenge they're writing for that age group is just that we kind of had to keep it a little on the shorter side.
Sure.
Oh yeah.
Now, are you guys still working on these books, or are you looking to make any more?
We would love to work on more. The last one we came out with was The Age of Exploration, Totally Getting Lost, which is another really fun one. That covers all sorts of stuff. Just people, explorers and stuff. But what's cool about that one is it gets into some subjects that people don't really, I don't even know how to explain it. I apologize. Like Columbus, for instance, like a lot of people like kind of like revere him. But if you really look at his story, like he was, not someone to praise,
Right.
you know,
Which
to
I think
say
we
the
finally
least.
sort of kind of got our
Yeah.
act together with over the last few years.
Yeah,
Yeah.
totally. Like he does not deserve a holiday.
Mm-hmm.
He lucked out. And yes, because of what he did, like, it opened up, trade and all that, also opened up colonization and all sorts of horrible things and slave trade and all that. So there's definitely a dark history there. And that was kind of a tricky subject to kind of make it appropriate for kids. But we thought that was really important, that kids learn that this was not a good guy.
Right.
And, so it was kind of interesting to take some of that type of stuff and kind of make it a little lighthearted, but also point out like,
Ooh. Well,
Columbus
then-
is not a cool dude.
Would that be like the hardest topic you think you've kind of come across with trying to make it more relatable to a younger generation?
I think so.
Okay.
Yeah. With that one, it was kind of tough to talk about. It was tough to figure out which subjects to cover. Because like originally we wanted to do Cortez, and then it's like, no, that gets pretty dark. So yeah, stuff like that.
I guess it's trying to figure out that balance.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Towing that line.
exactly. But yeah, as far as like future books, there's so many possibilities. We want to do a book on inventors because there's a lot of inventions
that would
that
be
happened
interesting.
accidentally.
Yeah.
So that would be cool. Yeah, there's definitely a lot of material out there for sure. We actually came up with like a list of like 20 different possibilities. But yeah, it just kind of I hate to say it depends on sales, but it kind of does. So we'll see. Fingers crossed.
You still got to fund it, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Well, I kind of hope that at least there is a better opportunity that'll come around that'll allow you to do that, because just hearing you talk about what you're trying to do, even if you're trying to dig into it, but you're still trying to, like you said, toe that line of being lighthearted, but still being factual.
For sure.
You think about, I remember when I was in school, you talk about Christopher Columbus. That was the only thing we were told.
Oh yeah.
He discovered America.
He
Boom.
was
And
which
the gift.
first of all,
he discovered it.
didn't-
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, the Vikings, Leif Erikson and all that. We get into that in the book, but
Yeah, but
Sat
that's-
down, had a lovely meal.
But that's like the baseline
man,
of what
the whole
they say.
Thanksgiving myth too.
They don't
Yeah.
go into any more detail. They're just like, he discovered America,
Right.
and that's it.
Yep.
And I don't know if that's changed at all in school. As far as my kids,
It depends on the state, unfortunately. Depends on the state.
and that's
from
where
what I
these books
understand.
would be fantastic. So if you getting those into the kids' hands, the right kids'
Yeah.
hands, hopefully they will take this and be like, huh, okay. And then they'll question that and hopefully dive deeper and dig deeper.
Right. Yeah.
Oh yeah, definitely.
So-
That's my hope,
I'm sure there's going to be a kid out there who's like, no, this is stupid, this is wrong, but it's because
Well,
it's,
you have to let them get away from their parents for a little bit first,
yeah.
where they start to develop like their own thoughts and opinions. Hopefully
Totally.
it could be
But-
the same,
But at least you plant a seed,
right.
you
Right.
know. So
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
hopefully that works out overall.
I appreciate it.
Yeah.
Yeah, like for the blog, it's really funny. Some of the comments I get some hate mail.
I can imagine.
And it's funny because like I do my best to be as factual as possible. I do a lot of research on this stuff. And, every now and then I'll flub something, but it's something minor usually. But the things that people latch onto are like the Columbus art. Like one of my oldest articles was on Columbus, and people got mad at me. Like they were like defending him and stuff, and it's so funny because they clearly haven't done the research themselves.
They're usually the
They
ones
just
that are the
listen
most
to like
confident.
Fox News, talking points and
Right.
stuff. Yeah, exactly. That's the thing. Yeah,
Like they're so confident you have to you almost double check your own self. Like, really? Wait.
yeah, exactly. And that I've
Oh,
gotten
I'm
better
right.
about dealing with that, but like originally that used to like cause me like a lot of anxiety. I was like, oh my god, did I get something wrong
Right.
here? Like, and I had to like reevaluate everything. I read 3 books and I'm like, wait, I was right the whole time. Screw you.
Right? You read a tweet.
know?
Leave me alone.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So that's the frustrating side of things sometimes, but
It's hard to
it's
navigate
important to-
in today's ecosystem like that.
Exactly.
It really is hard to navigate. Maybe we'll figure it out in 20 years.
Yeah. So yeah, I've also got, of course, the Epic Fails of History podcast.
Yeah.
Which is currently on hiatus, mostly because of Podcasters Assemble.
I was wondering.
Taking up so much of my time.
I bet.
But it is coming back. We actually recorded the first episode of season 3 a few months back, but just I haven't had time to edit it and put it out yet. But I've got a few episodes planned, and I'm gonna try some new things formatting wise. So I think it's gonna be good.
Oh, fun!
I've got some cool subjects coming up. We got like the Mongol invasions of Japan, which is an interesting one. That's basically the game Ghost of Tsushima takes place during that. So so a lot of cool stuff. There's this one subject I really want to dig into on the Battle of Karen Sebish. You've probably never heard of it, but it's probably one of the funniest epic fails in all of history. It's ridiculous.
Well, I'll have to keep an eye on
I don't know
that.
if I should spoil it for you.
No,
but
well, I don't know.
I'm hoping to get that out. Yeah.
It's already happened, right? So
you want to wait for it? Okay.
Yeah. I want to hear your take on it.
Spoilers for something that happened 500 years ago.
I know. But see, I went to one of those really independent fundamental Baptist schools. So my education wasn't great. Everything came from God, you see. So now I have to go out and do my own research now so I can see how it happened.
Yeah. Just
Yeah.
I'm okay, so that brings up another thing. Religion's tricky.
I bet it is.
Want to I did a 4-part article on the Crusades at one point. That's a touchy subject for some people. Understandably, it gets dark.
Yeah.
But like, people have opinions.
Sure they do.
People have some really strong opinions about that. And I do want to do that as a podcast episode at some point, because there is some fascinating stuff there and stuff that people don't even know about.
History of religion is really fascinating.
Yeah. It's hard to even begin to approach that one, though. I'm not even sure.
That would be a tough one. Yeah. But I think it's just one of those things, no matter what, there's always going to be that opposing side that's going to say whatever, if they don't agree with it, you're wrong. And we'll just have to, okay. Yeah.
Yeah. Exactly.
It's about the best you could do.
Yeah.
Without avoiding it altogether.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, I try, and I try to keep it entertaining. Some of the subjects I cover are pretty dark, obviously, but
as is our history.
I try to find some kind of positive message out of it, like something we can learn from these events.
Fair enough.
So, yeah.
I did want to talk about another project you have that I saw on your Twitter.
Oh yeah, okay.
Sunshine State. What's this?
I wish I had more to report on it right now, but I don't. So this is a project I actually started a couple years back, and the artist I'm working with, he currently lives overseas. And when the 2020 pandemic hit, unfortunately, like he's had a lot of challenges he's had to overcome on his end. From what I understand, the idea is we're hoping to put this proposal together to pitch to Image Comics. Fingers crossed, who knows? Yeah. But that's the goal. And then of course, if they reject it, there's like 6 other ones we want to try. But yeah, so it's a horror comic that we're working on. I don't want to give too much away because there's a pretty big twist in the first issue.
That's fair.
Yeah.
That's fair.
But right now it's basically only on hold because we're waiting on the final pages.
Okay.
So much fun
for the proposal. But yeah, it's oh man, I do want to talk about it, but I can't give away that twist.
Yeah, don't spoil it.
I think y'all would dig it. I really do.
I'm a huge comic nut. I don't know if we've actually talked about that here publicly or whatever, but I love comic books, and
me too.
Indie comics. They always kind of pique my interest. Like I feel like I don't pay attention to them as much as I know I should, but when one catches my eye, I'm on it. And seeing that you were doing this, I was like, okay, I'm there.
Yeah.
And I do want to dig in deeper to it, but I don't want, like you said, you got to twist, so I don't want to ask a lot of questions about it. But I did want to kind of bring it up because I did see it.
Yeah, so we really, I will say so the title's Sunshine State, and we really play with that a little bit. I mean, it's a horror comic set in Florida, and if you know anything about Florida, it's not always sunny.
Is that just like, is it really as horrible as it always sounds?
Well, pros and cons. You know,
I mean, I hate to say that because I'm sure it's lovely in many other regards, but I don't know, man.
Yeah. Hashtag Florida man. That's a real thing. I have known a few. But yeah, no. So the story. I will tell you that the story takes place during a hurricane, and it's about a bunch of college friends who are hunkering down during the storm because they're all broke. And then something happens during the storm as they're trapped with no cell coverage.
Oh, no.
Then,
that was probably the scariest part for kids.
What?
Yeah, we didn't used to be able to do that all the time.
Well, if you think about it, a lot of horror movies back in the day would be solved if people had cell phones.
I mean, really,
like
I know.
And I wanted to play with that a little bit. Like, what if, because during a hurricane, sometimes you can't
Your
get
cell
a hold
tower
of
can go down, yeah.
And this is, I'm not saying it's autobiographical, but I've, hunkered down through a few hurricanes before just because I had to, because I was broke, didn't have a choice,
Wow.
So, I put some of my own experiences in there, but then added a whole nother layer of this is terrifying, because the storm itself is scary enough, but there's something else that happens.
How do we follow for it? Just follow your Twitter, or does it have its own?
If you just you can follow me at Erik Slader. That's ERIKSLA D as in dog ER. And I'll post updates as they come up. I'm on Twitter and Instagram.
Nice.
And yeah, like I said, I hope to have more, to talk about later in the year. Fingers crossed,
Yeah.
Just
Oh,
waiting
my gosh.
to hear back from the artist.
Such a busy little bee.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, so I've got that, and then I'm also working on, I've got a few other projects, but one of the big ones right now that I'm trying to finish this year is I've got a sci-fi detective story. It looks like it's going to be a novella that I've been writing, and I'm hoping, I don't know when it'll be out.
Sounds like fun already when you said novella.
Yeah, I'm on my 9th draft of it because I want this to be polished before I even send it to an editor.
Sure. Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, there's not much I can say about that either because it's
Well, I guess you're just gonna have to follow his Twitter, man. There's a lot of stuff. Coming out here soon.
Yeah, just
Check
that's a little tease, a little sneak peek.
Little tease there. Yeah, nice.
It's called $22.99, by the way. That's that story.
$22.99 and Sunshine State and epic fails of history and podcasters assemble.
Yeah, I stay freaking busy.
I napped yesterday. Made a cheesecake. Made my stomach hurt because I ate too much.
But hey, you had a reason.
I did.
You had a reason.
At
It was her anniversary yesterday.
Oh, nice.
Well, I guess
Congrats.
I should say mine and my hubs, right? Not just
Right.
mine, right? Yeah.
Well, you're the only one here, so
that's true.
why
That's
we
fair,
equated.
right?
But yes.
In the conversation, but yeah, we
Yeah.
ate lots of food.
That's
That's
how
always
you
good, though.
celebrate.
Yeah.
Since we're still not going out, I brought it here. I made crab legs and filet and asparagus and cheesecake and twice baked potatoes.
I'm
2
jealous.
o'clock
That
this
sounds
morning,
awesome.
my stomach was like, was that really a good idea? All those things that you did. And I was like, well, at the time it sounded good, but I guess not now. So,
It's
then
always
now I'm good.
enjoyable in the moment.
right.
Heck yeah.
Excellent. Wow.
You got anything else for this man?
I mean, I don't. That's also amazing. I'm more in awe, and I love the work ethic, man.
Sure.
I hope you keep. I really,
appreciate it.
seriously, I hope you keep going for it. I think too many setbacks sets a lot of people back that they don't keep going for it, and it's good to talk to someone who's like, no, I love all these things, and I'm just gonna keep creating it, and what sticks.
That's the thing.
Great.
That's the thing. Like it's almost a compulsion. Like it's almost like, oh, I have a problem. Why do I do this to myself? But like, I just need to get it out there.
Yeah.
I got the creative bug, I guess, and I got to do something with it,
And
got to do something creative.
hey, if it's
constructive.
working out for you and you're having a good time, sweet.
That's the thing. Yeah.
I feel like you made it then.
Yeah, I'm trying to find that balance between stressing myself out and having fun with it, and I'm getting there. I'm getting there.
2017 was my challenging year where I did just that. I stretched myself very thin.
Yeah, you did.
Oh man.
But there was a lot of good content. So
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
I'll
totally.
say that.
That's good.
And I just gotta harangue him for the last episode too.
I get it.
What do I gotta do for you, BB? We're so close. Super Mega Crash Adventures, as I'm sure you've heard about. Like one episode left, I think. And then it's the series in the can.
I've still got
Yeah.
2. I'm still working on 5.
That's exciting.
I'm still working on 5.
Yeah.
I'll get there.
It'll happen.
It's really good though, you guys. Like,
we may have
Nice.
to share a little something there. Just give me a
Okay.
text.
yeah, dude. Cause I'm so excited for it.
That sounds awesome.
I'm excited for it. Whatever I gotta do,
We'll give him a text.
get it back on there. But yeah, excellent.
Oh,
Go ahead.
and before I forget, so we're wrapping up season 5 Podcasters
Yes,
Assemble
yeah.
right now,
Mm-hmm.
which is of course Mortal Kombat. We're talking about coming back this fall for Ghostbusters because there is a new Ghostbusters movie coming out.
Another one? Did I
Afterlife.
miss this?
Yeah,
Did you miss
Afterlife.
that?
I guess I did. I remember
I'm
the
not
one with
sure.
all the chicks and everyone was pissed because their fictional characters couldn't be women.
I'll send you a
Yeah,
trailer.
I
Okay.
enjoyed that one, but yeah,
I thought so too. I mean, it was
Like,
just
it was-
nonsense and tomfoolery. I mean, but I
Yeah,
don't know.
exactly. It
Maybe
was
I
fun
don't
for what it
expect
was.
as much out of my media as other people. Like, I was
Yeah, some people
entertained.
take
That's fine. Like, what?
yeah. This new one looks pretty good though. We'll see.
Nice.
We'll see.
Excellent.
Just like with Indiana Jones, I'm cautiously optimistic.
Fair enough. Yeah.
It's always a good idea, right? Excellent. Yeah.
Well, thank you all so much for having me. This has been awesome.
Well, we've loved having you. This has been a great
This
conversation.
is fun. I love when people are chatty.
Yeah.
Makes it easy.
Yeah, if you just need me to shut up, just let me know.
No, I was banking on that this week. Like I told Steven, I was like, we're going to talk a lot because I still napped a lot this week. So. But yeah, no, thanks so much, man. So, all right. So we can find him on Twitter. We can find him on Instagram.
That's right.
Is that it? Where
You
else
can
should
stalk
we
me
be?
on Facebook too if you want.
Oh, okay. I don't do Facebook, so I keep forgetting about it now.
It's one
Yeah.
of
Not that I'm like above anybody. I just couldn't be bothered to keep up with that many social medias. You know, I'm like, I just can't.
Yeah, totally.
All right. Well, I think that's our show then. Be sure to
it
go
up.
follow Erik Slader there at Erik, E-R-I-K, like you said, S-L-A-D as in dog, E-R, over on the Twitterverse and Instagram. You can also follow Casters Assemble, which is the one that's currently running now. We're about to wrap up Mortal Kombat series. The next one is
episodes
the
left.
new one, right? The
Yeah,
next
we're
one to
finally
go?
getting to that. I'm currently editing it, and hopefully it'll be out on time.
There we go. You can follow that too. Those are like a lot of fun. I think it's very interesting the way he cuts it up. You guys, your siblings have listened to us talk about that, so you know what it is. Go follow that
better
as
have.
well. Yeah, better have, right?
Yeah, and you guys are always great on it. I've loved all your entries.
Well, thank you. The first time I listened to it, I did tell Steven, I'm like, I don't know. I feel like I stand out too much. Like everybody's being so calm and like very informative. And I'm just like, so they walked down the hallway as a bad guy.
She was actually
you-
worried you weren't going to put her in it. And I was like, no, you're going to be in it. You're fine. She's like, I don't know.
I would, if I had to choose between both of you, you know, it'd definitely be Alicia. Alicia.
Oh, okay.
No offense, Steven.
No, it's fine. It's fine.
No. Honestly, Steven, you've been great too. Like all
Thank you.
your you know, repping for Kong and stuff on the GBK
Mothra doing
episodes.
their
has been
Mothra
great.
things.
I really enjoyed that throughout. You know,
I tried.
Kong wins.
Yeah, these are fun. I'm going to keep my eye because, I mean, if there's ever any other topics or whatever that I think I know about, I've had fun with this and I'd love to. One day
you're
you'll just
always
see it in your
welcome.
inbox again. Like, oh boy.
Yeah. No, you guys are always welcome.
Links
Excellent.
will
Well,
be in the show notes, by the way. For anybody who just wants to easy out, I'll put all the links down below
yeah.
so you can find them like
Make it
I
nice and
always
easy.
do.
nice and easy for you. And while you're there, you can leave us a comment. You know what you say? You know what you say? Because that's our show. You can also hit us up sometime on Twitter at SuperMegaCrash or send an email over to supermegacrash@gmail.com. And of course, you can find us on Instagram to view the weekly icon art that Steven puts all of his time and love into. You can support the show.
It is good.
It is, right? They're so cute.
I've been enjoying those. Yeah, they're cool.
I love them so much.
I love the Vegas one you did. I used to live in Vegas.
Oh, yeah.
So I was like, oh, yeah. That was the New York.
It's so cute, especially the one where we were. Anyway, I could go on and on about those because
Sorry.
he does such a cute job on all of them. But also remember, you can You can like and leave your reviews on your preferred platform, and even go to patreon.com/Pencil and Paper Productions. You can tell your friends and your enemies, if you like, to find the Pencil and Paper Podcast Network, or search Super Mega Crash Brothers Turbo on Apple Podcasts, Podbean, Spotify, Google Play, Stitcher, iHeartRadio, Pandora, if people use that anymore, Amazon Music, and even youtube.com/Pencil Paper Productions. Thank you so much for listening. I am Lacey Finley.
And I am Stephen White.
And you can join us again next time, Super Mega Crash siblings. But until then,
game on.
This has been a Pencil and Paper Podcast Network production.